Hey guys, hi. It's Jay Stone here, the brand mother. So I'm putting together, I'm actually working today. It's Sunday, but I took yesterday off, so I need to make up for it. I took Friday off too. I'm putting together a workshop for my master class, L7. And we meet on Tuesdays. And this week, I'm going over boundaries and being overgivers and setting boundaries. And this is a big issue for entrepreneurs. And the truth of the matter is, everybody doesn't understand our entrepreneurial journey, right? Everybody doesn't get it. Everybody doesn't respect it. And they definitely don't respect it if you're not in a place where you're, writing checks, paying mortgage, that kind of thing where they can see it. You know what I'm saying? Where they can see it. And so you find yourself trying to explain or just giving in because the way they talk to you, there's just a very condescending tone to, you still working. You hear that. People pay for that. You make money doing that. Well, and if you're not with, if you haven't replaced your corporate salary, then you start to hear, well, you ain't making no money. Well, it just don't seem like you working to me, and so that language starts to program us that we need to stop what we're doing to feed into what they need from us to continue to bring value. All right, to continue to bring value. And what we have to do is really start to set the boundaries. And a lot of people think that boundaries, if you set boundaries with your husband or your kids or your mama, that it's neglect. And so I always say this: boundaries are respect, not neglect. I'm going to say it again. Boundaries are respect, not neglect. But let's just deal with the overgiver part because that's the thing that keeps us from setting boundaries out of the gate. So, are you an overgiver? And I actually did a slide here. I'm going to share the slide with you. All right. It says, are you an overgiver? And here are some surefire ways to tell if you're an overgiver. If you feel guilty when you say no, right? If you wrestle with it and you say no, then you think about it and you huff and puff and then you go back and you change your mind, then you're likely an overgiver because you struggle with that. Do you give in when you feel pressured? You know, when they say, hey, it's time to shut down, it's time to stop with the laptop, the kids need me, something happened. If you give in when you feel pressured, you're probably an overgiver because guess what? People will get what they want by any means necessary. And if that means pressuring you, then that's what they're going to do. Is your personality to go along to get along? Okay, do you go along to get along? And that means I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. Entrepreneurship is a fight. You know what I'm saying? You have to find your voice, sis. You got to find your voice, which brings me to the next point. Do you struggle to find your voice? Do you speak up for yourself when there's an issue, there's a problem? When you're working, do you say, okay, I'm working, I'll be off in an hour, or I'll take a break in 20 minutes? Or do they just barge into your office? Well, Mom, bye. If you don't set the boundaries where they stop that, you're probably an overgiver. And then, do you expect others to be as considerate as you are? And I think that that's one of the mistakes that we make, right? We respect people's time. We respect people's dreams and their wishes. And we are waiting for people to do that for us. Well, guess what? People are selfish. They don't think about how something might affect you or make you feel. They don't think that, hey, we were supposed to go out and do something. I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, I know. Someone that I know was saying, okay, I'll be in town next week. And so I went and rearranged my whole schedule. And then she was like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not coming. And I wasn't upset because I had so many things going on. But she was not an entrepreneur. So she didn't understand everything that it took for me to arrange my schedule to be available. So I don't really have people in my circle that don't value my time. They're whimsical. Those flighty people that change the schedule. I can't live like that. right? I can't live when you done changed up the schedule and I had a plan and I took the time off. Or let's just say you come in and to town. I had to train my close friends. You can't just call me on Thursday and say I'm gonna be in town this weekend. Give me a couple of weeks because again, I might be traveling and I have to arrange my work schedule to know that I need to block the calendar so that those days, nobody puts anything on my calendar. My team will put stuff on my calendar on the day that you're supposed to be in town. I know you're supposed to be in town, but they don't. So I need time to block off that on my calendar, and I also need time to clear up my work schedule so that I can have the time uninterrupted and focus. And so I had to train people to do that. I had to create the boundaries. I had to create the programming that said, here's how I work. Here's the lifestyle that I have. And if you're going to be in my life, then this is what you're going to have to adhere to. And sometimes you have to create distance with people or let them go. People that don't respect your boundaries, create some distance. If they value the relationship and they're not selfish as fuck, they will make some adjustments. If they selfish as fuck, let them go and get some new friends that ain't gonna stress you the fuck out. Real talk, okay? So it's really important to set those boundaries around your work schedule. Set those boundaries around, your networking, your business. Set those boundaries. And it's important to, again, not to feel guilty about doing that. Boundaries are not neglect, it's respect, okay? So I think that's really, really important. There's some other things that you can do, like how to set the boundaries and what the conversations look like and things like that. But again, that's a training for my mastermind group. It might be something I'll put out for sale later. But I thought that you guys could really get this conversation about overgiving. Hopefully it's valuable. I'm going to get back to work and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.